presume that, Rob, means we're live.
Yeah. We've got to get this worked out,
That
haven't
was
we?
fantastic queuing up, wasn't
Producer boy. 3, 2, 1, you're on. That's how it works. I've seen the TV, that's how you do it, Rob. Not...
We should try that. You find when you turn on BBC News that George Alagai is sat there going... Oh, on, are we?
I'm supposed to be not laughing at this point. I can't.
Yes, calm down. I've left the pencil case here just in case.
Hi guys, welcome to today's podcast being shown to you live on Facebook. You're in the group, you're going to be watching that right now. It's our 7th episode, John.
It is, episode number 7. And this is all about the one thing that transformed our businesses. Many of you will be aware of the book, The One Thing. We're going to drop it in the show notes later and we will mention it in the actual episode. This episode is a complete rip-off of The One Thing, but it had such a transformational effect on our lives, on our businesses, that we thought, hey, we want to share it with you guys. So here we are. So I'm just going to tee up the video so that we can watch ourselves. Oh, there we go. We're live. We're good. So as always, guys, if you have any questions at all, please leave them now in the Facebook group, in this thread. We will try and answer any we come across if we spot them live.
At the end of the recording, because obviously during this, this is the bit where we introduce ourselves and we're talking to you guys on Facebook, and then we'll go live while we're doing the actual recording for our podcast. And John's just leaving now. Yeah, have I upset him? I have no idea. That's good. So so we then record our the podcast during this, and then at the end we'll look at your questions and we'll talk about those as we do our kind of out bit on Facebook Live.
Yep, absolutely. I'm just watching the live video now. I've just disappeared. Oh, I'm sure I'll be back in a minute. So anyway, shall we crack on then with the recording of episode 7. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 7 of the Big Idea Podcast. My name is John. I'm here as always with Jason. Hi Jason.
Hi John.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Very good. You can ask me how I am?
No.
Come on, I mean,
go on, John. How are you feeling, John?
Well, I'm very good. Do you want to know why I'm feeling very good?
I'd love to know.
Because I've just returned from a weekend away in Liverpool where I've watched the mighty Plymouth Argyle held to a 0-0 draw by this little team called Liverpool at Anfield. Oh, what a day it was!
You enjoyed yourself?
I did. I didn't enjoy the match. Okay. It was the most nervous I've ever been because Liverpool were a little bit dominant. I think 87% possession at one point, 18 corners compared to our none. Something like 34 shots compared to our 3. But, they scored the same number of goals as us, and we're bringing them back to home park
in 10 days
for a replay. Yeah, so I'm so excited. As a Plymouth Argyle fan, we don't get many moments like these. And so we have to milk them for all they're worth when we do get them. So, but that's got nothing to do with today's episode, because today's episode, we're going to talk about the one thing that really shaped our business, that kind of transformed our business and indeed our lives, kind of when we, I don't want to say discovered it, but when we came across it. So, jump in my time machine now, jump in the DeLorean, and let me take you back to about 2012. And do you remember what our businesses were like back in 2012?
Well, it was a little bit chaotic, a little bit mad. We had quite a few things going on at the time. We were really good. We could do things like SEO. So we managed to rank our sites, up there in Google. They were sitting there quite happily. We got lots of traffic from Google for free. Thank you very much at that time. It was a bit chaotic. We had 10.
I think it was about 10 different businesses, some sort of pigeonholed in the same sector, but about 10. We were at the time we were buying websites and we were buying businesses like they were going out of fashion. It was just I would frequent certain forums and come across someone wants to sell this business. Oh, it's mobile phone insurance. Yes, I'll buy that. Oh, fantastic. Someone else wants to sell a site that does breakdown cover. Oh, yeah, we'll have that. We'll take that off your hands. Budgie cars. Yeah, exactly. We were the UK's number 1 site for budgies for about a day. Then we got hold of the website, but at that time, SEO was our only marketing pillar. In terms of we talked before about marketing pillars and having multiple marketing pillars. We had one, and that was SEO. But hey, we're doing okay, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. Until Google kind of updated their algorithm, and literally overnight it was, well, SEO's dead.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was, you know, our one marketing pillar was gone. So it was that realization that I think we talked about in last week's episode when we were talking about knowledge. It was that realization that I needed to start learning again. So got myself a mentor, and then this light bulb moment, because I was speaking to my mentor, and I remember him saying to me, "Well, what's really important to you? You know, what matters to actually grow your business?" And you know, well, it's just getting more customers. He said, "Okay, cool. So what have you done today to get more customers?" And it was just like, ping, this light bulb went on. I was like, "Oh, geez," you know, because we were literally just on a daily basis, we'd do stuff to influence SEO. That was all we did. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, actually, we had one business where we could do one thing that would actually get us more customers in. So, yeah, rather than spending an hour a day trying to do SEO, and we're trying to do some PR, and I'm doing customer service, and I'm doing that on, say, 5 different websites, why not focus on one business and focus on one thing, i.e. getting more customers for that business? And so that's what we did. So I think literally, you know, I started working with a mentor in December 2012, and I think in January 2013, I think I came to you and said, look, we need to restructure everything. And I think literally I said, right, I'm working full time on this one business. And, you know, it's kind of, well, okay, well, let's see how that goes, because it's something we'd never done before. And so I remember putting together, I had a daily marketing planner. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was literally one business, and it was kind of, right, if this happens, post this on Facebook. If this happens, post this on Twitter. Send this email. And it was literally what I had to do on a daily basis to go out and get more customers. I mean, in this particular business, it was actually fairly straightforward. It was send marketing emails, post marketing, social media posts, react to events that had happened, but just doing that consistently, just that one thing of getting more customers on a daily basis, not thinking about it in terms of, well, we're doing a big marketing campaign now, and this is a 6-week campaign, and there's so many steps to it. This was just literally every day, I'm going to do something to actually go out there and physically get more customers in.
Not that made a huge difference, didn't it?
Well, it did. I mean, before, I think we had one customer, and that was Google. That was the only person we tried to keep happy. And all of a sudden we said, well, actually, we can go out there and grab these people. And the decision to do that was phenomenal, because I mean, that year, 2013, we saw real kind of hockey stick growth, didn't we? You know, it was, I think that lasted for about 18 months. It just, you know, I did nothing apart from get more customers for one business. So everything else got ignored in favour of this one business and this almost one tactic of, well, let's just go out and do marketing. Let's get more customers in. I think we quadrupled the turnover in the first 18 months, and then we doubled it again in the next 18 months. So whatever that is, 8 times the turnover or something in 3 years. And it was just that, having that focus, I think. And that's where I think a lot of people go wrong, and it's certainly where we went wrong in the early days, was we tried to multitask. I blame Richard Branson, you know.
Okay, well, yeah, he gets
I do, because Richard Branson is held up as the poster boy of entrepreneurship. So if you're going to be a good businessman, you need to own a record company and an airline, and do weddings, and travel, and credit cards. And have a bank. And should we do Coke as well? Yeah, let's take on Coke. And literally, we have to have 20 different businesses all doing completely bloody different things, because, hey, it works for Richard Branson. Richard Branson is the exception. He's not the rule. For most people, they need to do one thing, and they need to do it really, really bloody well. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it? Lee, if you listen to this, mate, can you bleep that one out?
That was very close. Very close.
But it is that myth for me of multitasking, and this is something that we have wonderful conversations with my Sarah and I, because she will say to me, "Oh, you can't do more than one thing at once." So I say to her, "No, you're quite right. I can't. I can only do things effectively, one thing at a time." And it is. I've read about this. The myth of multitasking. It does not exist. You cannot multitask. What you do is you task switch. So it is actually physically impossible to do or to focus on two things at once. You can do two things at once, but you can actively focus on two things. So you can do one actively, one passively. You can drive and listen to music. You can walk along the street and have a conversation with someone. But how many times have you been driving along, and I've done it, you listen to like a podcast or you listen to an audiobook, and all of a sudden you realise, Jesus, have I passed Tiverton already? You know, because you've driven 10 miles on autopilot. Mm-hmm. Or vice versa, you're driving along listening to this podcast, and then you go, oh right, okay, I know where I'm going now, I'm driving up the M5, you know, I did it over the weekend. Did I mention I went to Liverpool at the weekend?
Oh, Liverpool.
Yeah, I did, yeah. But anyway, I got so far, I got to kind of the M6, right, I know where I'm going, you know, A38, M5, M42, M6. M42, don't take the M42. So I'm on the M6, and then all of a sudden I realise, now I need to pay attention because I don't know where I'm going. I was on autopilot all the way up to the M6. Right, now I need to know, what junction am I taking? Where is it? Where am I now? So what do? I turn the music down so that I can see better. Mm-hmm. Because we all know that if you turn the music down, it enables you to see better out of the window. Or it enables you to focus on the sat-nav screen in front of you a bit easier. But yeah, even the world's most powerful computers don't multitask. What they do is they task switch effectively. Mm-hmm. And I think this is where the whole men-women debate comes into, is whether it can be done effectively. Do you have that same conversation with Emma?
No.
Is that because she doesn't like tasks?
No, tasks at all. You know, it's tricky, isn't it? No, I don't have the same conversations, but I do have many conversations and hear of many conversations where that kind of thing happens. And so, women are effective.
Yeah, they love to multitask. I don't think they are effective.
I think it's martyrdom, to be honest with you. The kind of people who say, actually, I can multitask, I do this, I can do this at the same time. Actually, you're not doing it unless you say effectively. You're kind of just doing it to be a martyr. You know, it's not getting them done. Actually, I'm only saying that I can do all these things because actually it makes me sound good.
On behalf of Jason, I'd like to apologise to all women listening to the podcast at the moment.
And men too, because I feel I'm guilty of... I multitask, because I do an awful lot of things, and I cram lots of things into the day, and I try to do them all at the same time. And yeah, you're probably right, I'm not as effective. If I got one thing out of the way and then moved on to the next one, then that would probably be the case as well. So, so on behalf of all women, I join you. Your delusions.
It's interesting, because did you know that the word priority only existed in single form until the 1940s?
No.
So in the 1930s, there was no such thing as priorities.
Okay.
There was only the priority. Priority is the one most important thing. So, people now say, "Oh, what's your top priority?" Well, my top priority is my priority. It is my most important thing. If the priority is the most important thing, how can you have more than one most important thing? It's not the most important, is it?
No.
For me, the top priority is my only priority. I physically can't have more than one of them by the very definition of the word. So this is where the theme for this week's episode, and hands up, we have ripped off this theme from a book, a very good book called The One Thing by Gary Keller. Do go out and read it. It's absolutely fantastic. But I now live by this philosophy of what is my one thing today. So what is my priority? What is my absolute must do? What is the one thing that makes all the difference? So I now literally don't do anything else in the day until I've done my one thing. So I think we've mentioned before in one of the episodes about the daily planner that I use, and it's very simple, very straightforward. It's literally an A4 sheet, columns on it: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But at the top of it, I've got a massive red box for the week, and it's like, it just says, what is my one thing for the week?
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I write in there the one thing that I want to achieve this week. And if I achieve nothing apart from that one thing, it's been a good week. I've won the week.
Mm-hmm.
And what I then do is each day, so I write down at the top of the column, so Monday's column's there, item number 1 is my one thing. So I will literally, I'll write down what I need to do, I will then draw a line underneath it, and I write all the other stuff that I want to do that day. Because everyone loves to-do lists, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of people that actually will literally write down stuff that they've already done just so they can cross it off that to-do list. But
can I just say that sheet, your daily planner sheet, that's already on episode 3's show notes, but I'll put it in today's show notes as well.
Cool, ideal, fantastic.
Which we'll tell you about at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I know I never move on to do that other stuff until I've done the one thing. So I've got my one thing, there's a line underneath it, which almost, it subconsciously says to me, do not pass go, do not collect £200 until you've done the one thing. Once the one thing's done, you know, I've won the day. Brilliant. You know, the thing is choosing what that one thing is. Now, you don't choose something that's easy. You look at, say, the 80-20 principle, and you say, what is the one thing that if you do it correctly, if you focus entirely on it, and if you dedicate a serious amount of time to it. Now, for me, that's normally at least an hour or two. You know, I would say minimum of an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could be a half-day task. Sometimes it could be a full day. You know, some days you've literally just got, well, I've got to get this done. I've got the presentation tomorrow. I've got to write the pitch today. I've got to perfect it. That is it. My one thing is getting that pitch done.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the one thing that actually, if you spend some serious time on it, you really put the effort in, you do it properly, and you focus on that and nothing else, it would have a disproportionate effect on your business. It's the one thing that, to quote Ben Hunt Davis, for those people that know him, it's the one thing that makes your boat go faster. I mean, you're aware of Ben Hunt Davis, aren't you?
I am.
Cool. So for those that aren't, he was an Olympic rower.
Mm-hmm.
Back in late 90s, early 2000s, and he was part of the men's 8 rowing team, Team GB, and they were pretty consistent, weren't they? They finished 7th just about every competition. So top 6 would go on to compete for the medals,
Mm-hmm.
and 7th and below would not. And every Commonwealth, every Olympics, they would pretty much finish 7th. And it got to 1998, I think it might have been the Commonwealth Games in 98,
Mm-hmm.
and the team kind of sat down, they'd finished 7th again, and they said, cool, well, we've got Sydney Olympics in 2 years' time, what we're going to do, we're going to finish 7th again? And yeah, a couple of people said, no, actually, I think we can go top 6. And I think there was a conversation had along the lines of, well, if we're going to aim for top 6, we're going to have to make a massive improvement from where we are now. 7th to 6th
Mm-hmm.
is not an easy change. So if we're going to target a 6th place finish, why don't we target a gold medal? And once they pick themselves up off the floor and stop laughing, they kind of thought, okay, if we were to take a team of underachievers, or maybe not underachievers, but 7th place is their level, how can we take, or what would it take to take a team of 7th place achievers to gold medal standard in 2 years? And they came up with this little phrase, will it make the boat go faster? And what they did then is they lived their lives by that mantra for the best part of 2 years. So it's Friday night, my mate's just called me up, do I fancy going out for just a couple of pints and maybe a kebab? Ooh, I do actually. Will it make the boat go faster? No, it won't. Okay, I won't do that then. It's Sunday morning, it's 5 a.m, it's freezing outside. Do I really feel like going down to the lake and spending 3 hours doing practice? No, I could have another hour in bed. Will that make the boat go faster? Oh, shut up. And it literally, they were completely anal about it, but it led them to do stuff like they missed the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. So they sat in their team hotel room and watched it on the TV because they made a decision as a team. Oh, we're here, we're in Sydney, we're going to go to the shall we go to the opening ceremony? Will it make the boat go faster? Well, it's a 90-minute drive there. We're going to sit in a cramped coach. We then got to stand around on our feet for about 3 hours. We're then going to do a procession. We're going to actually be late to bed tonight. No, it's not going to make our boat go faster. Right, we're going to miss it. We're going to watch it on TV. We're going to have an early night. Are we going to have relations with our wives and girlfriends whilst we're in Sydney? No, that's not going to make the boat go faster. Let's abstain for 3 weeks before. Down to also, member of the team over here isn't pulling his weight. Kind of need to have a little difficult conversation with him. It'd be easier not to, wouldn't it? Yeah, will that make the boat go faster? No, we need to have that conversation. And literally, they lived by that one thing, and every day it was their daily habits. They had their one thing. Will it make the boat go faster? NASA had theirs back in the 60s. Their one thing was, we're going to put a man on the moon this decade. There's a famous story of, I can't think who it was, somebody was doing a tour at NASA, and there was someone sweeping the corridor there, and he said, oh, what's your job? What do you do here? And he said, I'm helping to put a man on the moon. And he was like, whoa, he got it. That was his one thing. The US Democrats in 2007, 2008, they had one thing. They were going to elect the first black president of the United States. That is no mean feat to actually do that. They had one thing, and they were completely focused on that one thing. Now, none of those were achieved in one day, but what they were achieved was by pursuing the laser focused one thing every day for a prolonged period of time. So I now kind of break it down and say I've got several one things. I've got an annual one thing, which is to help a minimum of 12,000 small business owners this year. I've got my quarterly one thing, which is to write my business book. I've got my monthly one thing, which for this month is to launch this podcast. I've got my weekly one thing, which for this week is to promote the podcast. And I've got my daily one thing, which for today is to record this podcast. We appear to be doing that.
Well, that seems to be the way forward, doesn't it? We are definitely doing that today.
It does. So we're sat here. It is 36 minutes past 12. It's lunchtime. But by the time we finish recording this, I've beaten the day because I've achieved my one thing. Which, if I've achieved my daily one thing, guess what? That gets me closer to my weekly one thing, which keeps me on track for my monthly one thing, which moves me towards my quarterly one thing, which gets me towards my annual one thing, which gets me towards my Sunday go. And it's just an amazing thing to get that domino effect. I mean, people will say, what sort of things could my one thing be? Well, yeah, say for today it is recording a podcast, putting out some content. It could be writing a sales letter. It could be putting together an email campaign, piece of direct mail, doing Facebook ads, Twitter ads, growing your network on LinkedIn. Could be going to a networking event, going to a breakfast brunch. Could be going to a training course, sending a press release, learning AdWords, changing the copy on your website,
knocking on 5 people's door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if
asking for a sale.
Yeah, if your job is to sell, pick up the phone, call X number of people. If you know 10, every 10 people I call, I get a sale. Call 15 people today. You're guaranteed a sale. Write that sales pitch. Go out interviewing or hiring new members of staff. Whatever is going to move your business forward to a better, more fruitful place than it was an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours earlier. It's not about being busy for the sake of being busy. And you talked about martyrdom earlier, didn't you? And that is how many people... How's it going, Jace? Yeah, busy. No one says, how's it going? Yeah. Oh, productive. Any Muppet can be busy. I could sit out and just check some emails, dick around on Facebook, and I'm busy. Hooray! But when I'm doing my one thing, I need to shut everything off. It needs to be, I'm doing my one thing to the detriment of everything else. So emails get closed down. On Facebook, I've got a fantastic thing which we'll put in the show notes, Facebook newsfeed blocker. So I can do stuff on Facebook in terms of I can work within the groups that we're in. I can chat to people on Messenger. I can do research. I can literally do what I need to do to be productive in Facebook. But if I accidentally click that little F icon and I end up on the homepage, I don't see cat videos and I don't see jokes and people's kids and what they had for lunch or anything like that. I see a blank screen, and it reminds me, oh yeah, I shouldn't be here. I should be
nothing
doing
to see here. Might as well move on.
Exactly. I like that. Yeah, nothing to see. Move along. Nothing to see here. I don't answer my phone pretty much ever. If the call's scheduled in advance, yeah, great, I'll answer the phone. If not, if people call me, generally, then you're probably disrupting my schedule and stopping me from achieving what I want to do in my business. And if you're disrupting me and you're stopping me from actually achieving what I want to achieve for my businesses, then you are stealing the food from my children's mouths, and you need to stop it. That should be my voicemail message, I think.
Yeah, as harsh as that sounds, and it is pretty much what's happening there, isn't it?
It is, because otherwise you just go, right, I'm really into this. I'm going to write this sales pitch today, and I'm typing away, and I'm really concentrating and ringing. Oh, hello, mate. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, oh, yeah. The football weekend was great. Yeah, no, they drew. No, yeah, I know. At Liverpool, amazing, And then before you know, did I not mention this? Oh dear. Because by the time this has gone out, the people will have had the replay and will have been tonked like 6-0. I'll be like, yeah, just at least said about that, the better. But yeah, it's one of those things that people, as soon as you get interrupted, if you get interrupted for a 5-minute phone call, you're not interrupted for 5 minutes. You're interrupted for those 5 minutes, and then the 10 minutes it takes you to get back into the task you're doing, and you just get into the habit of dipping in and out of task and not being focused. You might have been really in the zone, really in the flow of actually writing that sales pitch when the phone rang, and rather than just ignoring it and carrying on in the flow, you've broken that flow and you've just gone up. I mean, people say, well, if I don't answer my emails and I don't answer the phone and I don't check Facebook for half a day, isn't that going to lead to complete chaos? And the answer is yes, it probably will. But for me, I'd say accept chaos, because chaos is your friend. Chaos is everyone else screaming, but not you. It's everyone else going, work to my agenda, speak to me, answer me, I've got a problem, help me. And if you're focused on your one thing, you're helping yourself. Once people know your boundaries, I think they're fine with it. So it's a case of managing people's expectations. If someone sends me an email and I take 2 days to get back to them, they're not going to be expecting an instant reply to their next email. They know, well, actually, yeah, John takes a couple of days to get back to me. Or if I've got something urgent that I need to speak to John about, perhaps I'll pick up the phone and he'll tell me to piss off because, I'm interrupting and stealing the food from his children's mouth. Yeah, Lee, there's another one there, mate.
But what about your inbox then? Your inbox must be full, because if you're not answering your emails for 2 days, then I know certainly my inbox will be really full. So what do you do to combat that?
Well, sure. I mean, a lot of people want that nirvana of inbox zero, don't they? So yeah, schedule it in. Just block out the time for, and I do this. I'll block out time for stuff. So occasionally it will even be my one thing. Will be, well, actually, my inbox is now so clogged, and there's some important emails in there that do need dealing with. So actually, maybe every third Wednesday, my one thing is stuff, where I will literally block out time where I'm not going to do anything important. I'm not going to do anything meaningful. I'm just going to work through my inbox. I'm going to sort the emails. I'm going to sort paperwork. I'm going to do the self-assessment. But then only look at it during that time, not looking at it, on a daily basis. Most people can't go 10 minutes without checking their emails. They'll pick out the phone. I'll, sort of at the weekend, you're sat there waiting for a train, and people just whip out the phone, just check emails. It's like, hang on, it's a Sunday afternoon. What is going to be happening urgently on a Sunday afternoon that people expect a response from you? Nothing. Just block it out. Come back to that and do it when it needs doing. So the one thing we need to do right now, Jace, is give these lovely people, these lovely listeners to the podcast, a tool. Have you got a tool of the week for this week?
Nice quick tool for the week.
Okay.
It's a plugin. most people use Gmail for lots of things. Even your business email now can go into your Gmail. So it's a plugin for Gmail. It's called Rapportive. You can go to rapportive.com and just add that to your Gmail. And what this does is, instead of having those ads on the right hand side of your inbox, you now get the profile from LinkedIn of whoever it is that's on your email. So you can find out a little bit more about them, about their social networks. You can find out about their business. You can go to their LinkedIn page directly from there. You can contact them from within LinkedIn and things. So it's just a really good tool. If LinkedIn is your thing, if you're a business to business and or you want to get involved with other business professionals and you've got emails coming in, then Rapportive then will put their profile in your inbox, nice and simply.
That's interesting. So is that only people you've already got contact with, or is that?
Yeah, basically does a little. Rapportive used to be its own company. It's been bought by LinkedIn recently, I think, and now it's kind of owned by them. So yeah, obviously, if you had an email come in, it'll check your email, the email address, and then nip off to LinkedIn and bring their profile into you. So yeah, somebody you've got an existing relationship with, or somebody who's starting a relationship with you. You've got a speculative email come in, you can then find out a little bit more about their business without actually having to go and ask them about it, or do with web searches and all the rest of it to come and find it. It's all within your inbox.
Cool. Is that free?
It's free.
Hey, we like free tools, don't we?
We do. So a nice and quick one, a Rapportive.
Cool. So could you combine that with anything else to sort of automatically sort of engage with them on LinkedIn?
How do you mean?
Well, so if you've got someone in your inbox, can you say, well, actually, if someone sent me an email with this specific word in it or a specific topic line, could you then send them a connection request on LinkedIn?
Yes, you can from inside there. Yeah. And you can see their Facebook if they've updated their LinkedIn profile. Then their Facebook comes in, their Twitter comes in, all of the other things as well. Yep. So you're not limited to LinkedIn. Although obviously that's the company only.
all I'm thinking is, if I could get something set up, say between 10 a.m. and midday on a weekday, if someone emails me, I could literally go on their LinkedIn page, connect with them, and say, "You are stealing them." the food from my children's mouths.
Do you know what you've just done? That takes up your time, so you're probably best ignore.
No, I'd automate that.
Oh, you'd automate?
I don't want to get involved with that. I'm doing my one thing.
Brilliant.
It's going to happen automatically.
Autoresponders.
Yeah. Something else that's going to happen automatically is we're going to be back next week.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about, next week, we're going to be talking about multiple streams of income. Now, this was a topic that was actually voted for by the members of the Big Idea podcast community on Facebook. And Jason, do you want to tell the lovely listeners how they can actually join in with the Facebook community?
Well, I can, yeah. It's Big Idea Podcast is the name of the group. You can go and search for that if you like, or if you don't like to follow an easy link, if you go to bigidea.co.uk/Facebook, that'll take you to the group as well. Just click to apply to join, we'll add you in, and you're in the group.
Cool, fantastic. One thing I will say, guys, is we're starting to get a really good traction in the community now. So if you do apply for the group, please make sure you've got something remotely kind of business entrepreneurial-like in your profile, because we are going to have to start to be a little bit picky about some of the quality of people we let in. We want to keep it a really, really good, tight-knit community. Everyone's here to help each other. And yeah, if we've got we're starting to attract a few foreign people. Obviously, we know the podcast is going out worldwide, so we're happy to accept people from outside of the UK, but we need to know that you do actually intend engaging with us, and you're not just here to spam us with some MLM or anything like that. So one thing we do like in the community is, obviously, you can comment on this episode. You can let us know what you want to cover in future. You can watch a live recording. The guys in the Facebook group right now are watching. Hello, guys. Good afternoon. Good morning. It is afternoon, isn't it? Yeah, 10 to 1. And yeah, you can watch the recordings of the future episodes. You can influence what we talk about. As I say, we've members of the community voted next week that we're going to be doing multiple streams of income. So that's what we're going to cover. If you want us to talk about something, that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Cool. And we put all of these things on our website. So you can, on the website, you can go to bigidea.co.uk/podcast, and then we put on there the show notes. So things we talked about, links we mentioned during the show. We put the video in there. We also put the audio in there. We put the transcription in there as well. So there's lots of stuff that lots of ways to interact with what we're doing, both on the website as well. So that's a good place to look.
Cool, fantastic for that. And all that's left to say is we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
was a much more respectable 32 minutes.
32 minutes. That's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
Dear.
So how was that, guys? Was that good? Did you enjoy that? Did you find it useful? You know, we've been living our lives by this mantra of the one thing for about 2.5 years now, I would say. And it's just made a huge difference to the business. And also, I think personally, I'm a lot less stressed now than before, when it was, oh my God, I've got 20 emails to clear, and I need to do that thing on Facebook. Oh, and I've got that sales pitch I need to write, and the phone's ringing. Just, ignore the phone, ignore the emails, ignore Facebook, do the sales pitch, and then, oh, well, I've done that. Now I can look at cat videos on Facebook or...
You right there, Mark and Chris? Good to see you guys left us some comments on there.
Yeah, thank you for that, guys. Mark, affiliates were the kings of having too many niches. I think that a lot of that stems from it being too easy in the early days to literally have an idea. Oh, I'll go and buy the domain. The domain's going to cost me £7.
Yeah.
We've got hosting set up already. You know, it's just so easy to say, well, actually, I think at our peak, we probably had about 30 different websites.
That we were open and running and actively manning, weren't we?
Yeah.
Sort of thing, yeah.
You know, we kind of, I think at one point we had a florist website, and we had dating and renting office space.
Yeah, service offices,
Yeah, you know, we had so much going on because, well, we didn't really need the focus, because all we had was, it was, again, our one thing then was kind of, well, SEO. Let's just get them ranked and then move on to the next project. Whereas actually we found it much easier, much less stressful to actually kind of focus on that one business, make that one a success, multiple, as we'll talk about next week, multiple streams of income, multiple marketing pillars, and then move on. And kind of this is almost us being distracted now, because we're doing things like a podcast. But actually we're not, because we've kind of pigeonholed the existing businesses. We've got systems and processes in place that actually runs itself now. It doesn't need as much of our time, but when it does need us, we're focused on it. We're focused 100% on it. When we're not focused 100% on that business, we're in this new business. Hi Chris, good to see you too, mate. It's been a long time. It's been a while since we caught up with Chris, hasn't it?
Absolutely ages, yeah.
Yeah.
I think last time was when we launched ECU. I think that might
no, it wasn't that long ago, was it?
I think it might have been. I think it might have been, actually, yeah. Good to see you, Chris, and welcome aboard.
Good. So, as always, guys, any questions you've got, even if you're not watching this live, if you've got a question later on in the week.
No, we just had another one pop in, actually. Do you want to speak to Mark and his way of documenting and tracking the one things?
Oh, Chris, it was not 2006. No, it wasn't. Never that long. Do you have a way to document and track your one things? I guess for you that would be Trello, wouldn't it?
Trello, yeah. I keep everything into Trello. And you've got your traditional paper.
I'm much more old school. I'm very much, I prefer pad and paper. So for me, kind of tracking the one things I've done is those weekly planners. So I don't tend to keep them that long, but I will keep them probably for about 4 weeks. But actually, we talked. What episode was the go setting? Was that episode
3,
5,
4,
something like that? look to the episode we did on go setting, because I talk in there about my quarterly planners. Now those I've kept every single one of them since the start. So I've been doing that about 20 months now. In fact, no, it's coming up for 2 years. Yeah, it's nearly 2 years. And literally, I've got every single one every quarter that I've just literally kept, so I can look back on it and say, Jesus, that's the one thing I was focused on 2 years ago. And I'm then able to look at it and say, well, actually, look at how we've grown over these last 2 years, because 2 years ago we were trying to achieve this, and now that's the stepping stone for where we're trying to go now, which is up here. So it'll be good to see where we head up in 2 years' time, because this is a brand new venture for us, and to actually think what we're trying to achieve with this and what we're hoping to achieve, in this first quarter of the first year, compared to perhaps where we could be once we've been doing this a couple of years. Phenomenal. Yeah. So keep it coming, guys. Also, we really do want to grow this group. As I say, we do want to keep it a little bit curated. We don't want to be filling it with spammers, self-promotion people. But please, if you know of anyone who would be suitable, could learn from the group, please add them. I think we had a conversation with Andy earlier in the day. He was trying to add someone in, and I think just tag them instead. But yeah, if you're on the mobile, I think it says add members is in the menu at the top of the group, or if you're on desktop, it's over on the top right hand side, just below the search bar, I believe.
That's right.
Oh, actually, do you know what? A little tip I picked up last week. I don't know if you've ever heard this before. If you're in a group on Facebook and you go to the search bar in that group, type in an asterisk and hit enter, and it will sort it all by date.
Does it?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Facebook loves to rank things and say, this is popular.
The last comment goes to the top.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to actually see, what was the most recent, and then completely chronological order, just stick a star in the search bar, hit enter, boom, does it for you.
Another tool of the week.
It is. Next week, because only you lovely Facebook people have had that. We've had a lot of exclusive content this week. We've been too kind to you, haven't we?
We've had some great videos actually from your trip to
Liverpool.
Was it Liverpool?
Did I mention I went to Liverpool at the weekend?
You did some brilliant one about repurposing the content, didn't you? That was a fantastic video. And
I'm glad it was, because I had to get up at 7 in the morning and drive 25 miles to get to Congleton to do that video.
Congleton, yes. Yeah. The village of...
That lovely village. Apologies to Mark Ward, it's not a village. Devon, everywhere's a village. Went to London Village once, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And the second one was about pricing, wasn't it? Pricing of your tickets to go to Liverpool.
It was, yeah.
And it's going to be interesting because we are having that replay, so we'll have to see what Argo will do with the pricing.
Because I've got a feeling they have to have the same prices.
Okay.
Which Argo will be kicking themselves, because for me, we've got capacity of 15,000, 16,000 at Home Park. They could charge 45 quid a ticket happily, 3 times what Liverpool charged, and sell out, possibly 65 quid, I think. But if they've got to charge the same price, 15 quid, they'll be looking at that thinking, Jesus, we've left 100 grand on the table. Yeah.
So they have to sell at the same price as the Liverpool did?
I think
not
so.
Their standard, £25 a ticket.
No, I think it has to be, once you agree a price for the FA Cup tie, I think the replay is automatically the same price.
Oh, okay. I'm interested, and we'll have to see how that pans out.
Yeah, definitely. But either way, it's fantastic money for them, and perfect execution of a plan as well. I should do another one. We'll get Derek Adams on the show,
Yeah, why not?
Because you were watching obviously on TV, and I think Steve McManaman had a little dig at Argo, didn't he?
Small dig.
A small dig, yeah.
Several small digs, in fact.
Well, he was saying that they weren't playing in the right way. He was saying that they were being far too defensive, and it wasn't going to work for them, and that they should come on and really have a go at Liverpool. And Derek Adams.
They've got no passion, they've got no drive, and they don't want this. What are they even doing here? They don't want it, I think was the actual term he used.
Yeah. Whereas, Derek Adams' interview this morning was, we're not naive enough to think that we're a League Two club, we're not naive enough to think that we can go to Liverpool and take on multi-million-pound Premiership footballers. We went there with a plan, which was to not let them score, and we succeeded. Yeah. And as a result, his little League Two club is going to be like 300 grand better off. Job done. Perfect execution of a business plan.
Very good.
Wouldn't have been saying that if they'd scored in like the 89th minute though, with one of their million shots they had on target. That's one of the most nervous I've ever been. Just stood there going, one of these is going in. One of these is going in. They've got to score in a minute. Oh my God.
Still, anyway, we've done our one thing for the day. That's we've got a podcast recorded, so that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah,
we're probably stopping people now from doing their one things. So maybe we should say
Facebook. What are
maybe we should say goodbye to our Facebook
Monday.
audience.
What are you doing pissing around on Facebook?
And producer boy Rob's about to go and turn us off, so that's all well and good.
Yeah. So actually, guys, before Rob does cut you all off, hold fire. Leave a comment in this thread. Let us know what your one thing is, either for today, for the week, for the month. Let us know, literally, what are you going to be doing this week to move your business forward, to move that needle forward. And with that, have a great week, guys.
Yep.
See you later.
See you guys. Thanks.